Hello, this is Dinah Lane from Harwich Channel 18, and I'm here today with Cindy Ennes, who is an artist at the 204 Cultural and Municipal Building. So nice to see you, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
great.
great. Yeah.
And I met Cindy actually at the Cultural District Award ceremony
Right. The
when
ribbon cutting.
when there was
Yeah.
the ribbon
Yeah.
cutting at the Brooks Park.
Right.
And there she was in the drizzle with her painting easel doing plein air. And I was so impressed that I went over and spoke with her and got a look at her painting, which I was just astounded by. The short period of time we'd been there in the blowing, winding rain, she had actually come up with something that really represented the event for me. So it was a very exciting moment for me, and I
Ah,
wanted to talk to her about that as well as some of her other work.
yeah, it was really exciting for me to have you come up and notice my work. I think I'm like many artists, and I get pretty lost in what I'm doing.
Well, that's a good
So
thing.
to have somebody come up and look and ask a couple of questions is really gratifying and validating.
Well,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So perhaps I'll ask a few more questions now.
Yeah, please.
I would love to know how you got your start in
Well,
art.
like many artists, I've always been good at art.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
I became a nurse, and I was a pediatric nurse for about 30 years. In during that time, I raised my kids. Art was a part of my life with
mm,
them. We did
mm.
lots of art, and I took whatever classes I could. But I had a real passion and desire to be an oil painter, which takes
Mm,
a lot of time.
mhm.
It's You need a space
Yes, and time for it to dry.
and time for it to dry, and just time. And
Yeah, yeah,
like most busy mothers, I didn't have that time. So
right.
when I retired, my husband and I moved to Charlotte for about 3 years,
Mm,
and I decided on the New Year's Eve of 2017, maybe,
mhm.
that I was going to commit to oil painting.
Uh-huh.
And I was lucky enough to have access to a terrific art school down in Charlotte, run by Andy Braitman, a pretty
Mhm,
renowned abstract artist. And
mhm,
I learned real strong fundamentals, and from
mhm.
there just kept
I
working and
see.
working. Right.
So that's when you really started studying art.
Yes.
I see. Uh-huh.
Yes.
And when did you come to Harwich?
I came to Harwich, I think it's been 2 years
Mm-hmm.
that I joined the 204.
Uh-huh.
And prior to that, I really hunkered down with a daily practice, learning how to mix
Hmm.
clean, good colors, getting my
Hmm.
own palette from just a limited number of colors. I worked really hard at that,
Mm-hmm.
and took many classes. I've taken classes with Ed Chesnovich
Mm-hmm.
out of the Cape Cod Art Center, Susie Overstreet, at the
Mm-hmm.
museum, have done plein air here and
Yes.
there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's
Right.
culminated into what I do now.
So one of the things that's really noteworthy to me about your paintings are the colors. They're so bright, so brilliant in so many ways,
Thank
and you
you.
have so many ways of playing with it. And I know one of the things you talk about is liking to use your palette knife. Is that what it is? Palette
Yes,
knife?
yes.
Yeah, because you get a certain mark with it,
Right.
which is really interesting. So here's one of the pictures actually
Oh, yeah.
that you
And I was
have done.
really proud of this picture. This painting was I did it a year ago, I think, and it really was a turning point for me. When you're learning, really striving
Mm-hmm.
to develop to the best you can be. You don't notice it, and then all of a sudden improvement, and then all of a sudden
Hmm.
I was able to do something that I thought, oh, okay, this
I
is like a
see.
different level.
Uh-huh.
I was really trying to get just that diffuse light that was coming from the outside.
Right.
And this painting is from an interior room at the Crosby House in
Oh,
Brewster,
oh
which
yes,
is
oh
only
yes.
open a very, a couple of times a summer. And I was
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough to just happen upon it. So the room was like this dark, turquoise and wood and
Mm-hmm.
cool, and it was really hot outside and
Mm-hmm.
light.
Right.
And so, yeah, I tried to, like, this is probably one of the first ones where I really was trying to um, make the light, the objects in the painting reflect the
Mm-hmm.
light that is shining upon it. This was probably
Was
like,
that, excuse me, was that one of the flower exhibits they had where they were
no,
pairing? I know they've had some over there
yeah,
where they pair
no.
flowers with art,
I
but
would love to, oh, I would love to go to that.
yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was just a
Hmm.
random open house,
I
random for
see. I
us that we
see.
just stumbled upon.
Well,
So,
I love how the flowers reflect the rug, and
yeah,
also, as you say, the light in the back through the open door there is
right,
beautiful.
right.
Another one
Thank
that I
you.
really particularly loved is the walkers, the ones on the beach.
Oh, right.
What's that one called?
It's called An Elegant
An
Walk.
elegant walk.
Yes.
Yes.
And one painter, a pretty well known impressionist, Ellie Cedrone,
Mm-hmm.
I studied with her during her
Mm.
some of her online Thursday
Mm-hmm.
classes. And this is one of her references.
I see.
But, and so again, I was trying to really just capture the light on an object,
Yeah.
trying to make the light feel diffuse through, say,
Mm-hmm.
the hat or,
Yeah.
just a piece of the clothing, and wanted the viewer to really feel where the sun was coming from.
I love your shadows. I really love the
Oh,
way
thank
you
you.
have shadows in many of my
Yeah.
favorites of yours.
Well, that I think that makes
It,
a more dramatic
yeah,
painting.
it does.
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
does. It's
And
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so I was really happy with this, how this one came out too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then another one of the beach is the boys' boats and bikini,
Yes,
which is a
yes.
fun one.
Yeah, yeah.
And trying to find the bikini, it's
And
almost
trying to
like,
find, yeah.
where's Waldo? I
Oh,
was trying to
yeah.
figure out where the bikini is, but
Yeah.
it has just the beauty of the colors of the boats is really
Right.
fun, and then the way you played with the water, the color in the water
Yeah.
is
And
lovely too, and the
yeah, and
reflections.
yeah,
I'm
thank
crazy about
you.
reflections, so
Oh,
the red shirt of the boy on the
yeah.
water there,
I
it's
love
great.
red. Red is
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I can use too much red maybe, but it is a color I'm really drawn to, like those really
Mm-hmm.
hot reds, pinks,
Mm-hmm.
um, yellows. And so, yeah, I think with this one, it tells maybe a little story the viewer can
Mm.
come up with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This was from a photo reference I took at Gray's Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with the kayaks and
Well, you
yeah,
really have
thank
used the
you.
light at the Cape so
I've
beautifully, I
tried.
think.
I
Yeah,
tried.
yeah. Uh-huh.
It's just incredible. Um,
It
just the
is.
golden light,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's just
extraordinary. I think a
crazy.
lot of artists are
Yeah,
drawn to that.
yeah,
Oh, and this one too. There's
yeah,
such movement in this.
yeah. I tried to
Mm-hmm.
capture the wind,
Mm-hmm.
how the
Mm-hmm.
wind was affecting this
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
trying to get her towel
It's such
across her.
a familiar
Yeah, right on the
experience too for just about everyone.
right,
So you can really
right.
relate to it. But
And
yeah,
she's so intent on
getting it
what
right.
she's doing,
Getting it right.
getting it right.
Getting it
Yeah,
wrapped just right. But again, the shadows are,
yeah. I loved playing with the shadows,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like that eggplanty
Yeah, yeah.
purple
Very nice. Yeah.
of her bathing suit and her skin against it. Oh, and this one here was from a picture that I took at the Provincetown Secret Garden Tour
Oh, yeah.
last summer.
That's great.
And it was a hot, hot day
Yeah.
and a lot of walking. And this
Wow.
woman, I just thought, she is so classy.
She
She
is.
looked so put together, and
It's a classic picture, actually. It is.
thank you. And
Yeah.
so she had these bright orange shorts on. I did ask her
Mm-hmm.
permission
Mm-hmm.
to take the picture,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
With next to the red pot, and I just
Right.
was right up my alley.
So you take a photograph and
Yep.
then you go home and work it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I start my paintings off in black and white,
Aha.
and I look
Interesting.
I start from a black and white reference because you can really see the warmest warms, the coolest cools, the value shifts, and yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay. So if you want to tell me a little bit about what exhibits you are in right now, I know
Yeah,
you have some things
I
up,
do. I have
just so
two.
people might want to go and see them.
Sure, I have two pieces currently in the Cape Cod art center from the National Coast to Coast exhibit,
Mm.
which I was really so proud to have been chosen to be in
Yes.
that to begin with, and won an honorable mention.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I was
Congratulations.
thrilled. That was
Yeah.
my first award in a national show.
How long is that exhibit on?
That exhibit, I think I saw, is on until June 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful
I'll try to
exhibit.
get over there.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful exhibit. It's a beautiful center.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I also have another piece at the Sandwich Art Alliance. I belong to that association too. And of course, at the Eastern Gallery on Main Street in Orleans. I'll actually be there tomorrow. And
Oh,
my
great.
work is there along with other artists.
You'll be there tomorrow. Is there an opening?
There's not a no. It's just open.
You're just going to be there.
I'm just going to be there.
I see,
It's a
okay.
co-op gallery.
I
so,
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we all
Right.
share in running the business. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so I'll be there painting tomorrow. I paint every day,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's just kind of scrambling around or starting something that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your studio is Studio 209
Studio
at
209
the 204.
At the 204.
And would you be open to people dropping by
Absolutely.
to say hi or
Yes,
to
yes.
talk with you if they're interested? So
Yes, absolutely.
that
Drop
sounds
by
great.
and see me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful.
Thank
you
you.
so much, Cindy,
Thank
for
you.
coming in. I'm
My
really
gosh,
glad
that
to
was
have a
fun.
chance to hear about your process a bit
Okay. Yeah.
and really look forward to seeing more of your
Great.
paintings.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Dinah Lane from Channel 18.